All right, so tell me about the new album.
Well, the new album is entitled Lessons. I wanted to, during the course of time, me and Trage, we've been working, but we ain't doing like a whole body of work together like how we did on the War Report. So I wanted to bring him in. I wanted to bring the original back to essence. And, he unfortunately, he wasn't a part of the War Report too. You know what I'm saying? But I want to do the last report or the third report. You know what I'm saying? And kind of end that War Report chapter. But prior to that, I wanted us to make sure that we could all still mesh together and we could all still, you know what I'm saying? Because that chemistry from the War Report was so authentic and so classic that if we can't get somewhere near that, it's no need for us to do this. You know what I'm saying? So prior to the first thing for us recording, I wanted us to hang out. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the beauty of the War Report. Like if you look at these two guys, these dudes, they play around all day. Like you see these guys, they laugh, and that's what we need. You know what I'm saying? It can't be just a business venture. Like we can't just be sitting down and say, oh, we're gonna get a check or we're gonna, get some shows from this. It gotta be something beyond that. It has to be something that, emulates something of the original, of the original. Not we didn't make a War Report, this album, but it has to feel like that. And I was glad, Trage came down to Miami. We were sweating in the vocal booth. We were sweating, you know what I'm saying? And the chemistry just fell right back into place. I remember Trage saying, yo, I didn't know if we was going to still have the chemistry. I seen him do an interview, and he said that. And that's the beauty about it is like we should look at each other the same way we looked at each other in the beginning. And that's what makes great music. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. So I listened to the album. The album is dope. I got a joint on there that makes me tear up, makes me man cry, which is called N.O.R.E. And I really enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed, me, being able to become a man on my own musically, and obviously physically as too, but musically, and then be able to come back and say, you know what, I want the person who was my original mentor, to do ad-libs behind me and to just talk shit behind me. And it was important for any CNN music lover, 252 music lover, Thugged Out music lover, Pain, Time, and Glory, whatever. If you loved any of our entities, separate or together, I wanted those fans to be proud. And I kind of wanted to take a direction to say fuck this generation. And what I mean by that is I wanted to do something totally opposite. I didn't want to the left, I didn't want one of those singles. I didn't want a nay. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do none of that. I wanted to take it back to original hip hop. Now, the reason why we didn't call it the last report is because, again, it wasn't us three every session all the time. But the next report or the last report, that's how I want to do it. I want to do every song together. When you listen to the War Report and you say the War Report is dope, you know why? One of the reasons why the War Report is dope, because we couldn't send Nas a record. We couldn't send Busta Rhymes a record. We couldn't send Mobb Deep a record. They had to physically come to the studio. There was something called an 8-inch rail at that time. It's like carrying a little midget. You know what I'm saying? You can't be running around with no fucking 8-inch rail.
Two inch.
2-inch rail, excuse me. So that's why the music, when people say the 90s was the shit, the 90s was the shit because it wasn't technology.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
The
because
2-inch gave it a warmth.
You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't have Vlad, you couldn't send me drops. You had to come and give me drops. If you hosted my mixtape in the 90s, you had to come to my studio and say that on the mic. That's why a lot of times where if a person is a family member of me and they say, yo, I want to do a record with you, I say, wait till I get to New York or come to Miami. Because if you're my family, what the fuck are you doing sending me a fucking hard drive for?
Right.
What are you doing sending me an email? Let's do this shit together in unison. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes better sense that way. And that's why when people say, man, I miss the 90s, what you're saying is you just don't really agree with technology. Because nowadays, if I need Buster could be in Dubai. I could send Buster a fucking record. He could send the shit back to me in 30 minutes. It doesn't matter where I'm at in the world. You know what I'm saying? But in that process, it takes away from, you know what I'm saying, the competitiveness. Because if I write a verse and you come in and lay a verse, and I tell you in your face, I'm erasing my verse. It makes you like, what? I'm gonna erase my verse. I'm writing a better verse right now. It brings the intensity. It brings everything else. So that's what I really wanted to do with this album. That's what most of this album is recorded like that. You know what I'm saying? I felt like being that a lot of people knew what me and Trage was going through at some point, it'd be dumb for me to be sending him verses. Let's do this shit in each other's face.
Because it's funny because, you saying about the whole sending of verses and everything.
Right.
It's very rare when you see a collab,
That
between different
together.
crews
Right.
that actually happen in the same place. Like,
Right.
I remember reading, like I was checking out A$AP Rocky's new album,
Right.
and he was saying, "Yo, when Wayne sent me that verse, like it
Right.
was so crazy."
Right.
My first thing was like, why weren't y'all in the studio together? Imagine
Yeah.
how much better that verse would have been if y'all was with each other.
Right.
Not to take away from Wayne or to take away from Rocky, but
Sometimes time don't permit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes time don't permit. But for instance, like,
And that's why a lot of collabs didn't
like
happen
for
back
instance,
in the days.
like if Trage wants me on the record and I can't be in New York when he needs me, so all right, cool, I get it. Send me the record, I'll do it. But I prefer for you to wait a month, or I to wait a month, and we be in the same room, because the music comes out just so much more. It just comes out better when you get to hear me lay my verse. Like, if you listen to the War Report, I go first on every verse, right? Like on the War Report, I think, but like 1 or 2 records, right? I was just so hyped to be in a fucking, you know what I'm saying? I was first off, I was joyful to be out of the fucking. I used to think D&D was a palace. Right. Facts. I used to think Unique Studio was a mansion. All right. So I used to be there on time, early. These guys, back in the days, they used to be messing with chicks. I ain't do that. Like, I just wanted to rhyme. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reason why this music came out so dope at that time, was because I came up with the idea. I'm sorry, it's back in the days. Statute of limitations is up. You good, all right? You good.
the face Capone is making right now.
Statute of limitations. He just wanted to rhyme. He's so fucking perfect.
No, I'm just saying. Well, when it came to the album, I was.
He's a fucking angel, yo.
Yeah, just because you get dashiki on, you wasn't back then. But to me, that's the reason why the music came out, and that's the reason why this album, Lessons, is it's the closest thing to something 90s sounding, without trying us to be in the 90s, and shit, I enjoyed the album a lot.
Can I say something, guy? Thank you.
Did you hear the whole album though?
Wow, that's
So,
a good question.
Yeah,
Luckily to my bro here, I heard.
he sent it.
He sent it.
Okay. Dashiki,
It's
man.
funny because we actually, we actually on the record, and there's a song we got where I kind of called Pone on the phone, and I'm like, N.O.R.E's on his good guy shit. So it's like, it's just funny to me right now to hear him talk about how,
Trying to be a good guy, man.
how much of a good guy he was. Like,
No, I didn't say I was.
he just was happy to be at the studio.
Yeah, I was.
He just,
Yo, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The War Report, for the War Report session, these guys came late to almost every session, my brother. And I used to have to get on the train.
It was kind of better than bringing the whole left rack with you to the studio.
Every session? Because he made a face.
My man, I'm gonna keep it 100. When Pone got sentenced, I don't know how we got one verse from this nigga. I don't even know how, B, because we couldn't be
mad at him.
We couldn't be mad at him. He was supposed to be Horny Montana. He was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying?
He was
living his life before he went back in.
He was
so
going in.
I understood it.
He was going
Yeah,
in.
he was going in. He was a savage.
We used to get calls like, yo, I'm in Yonkers. We being unique. I'll be like, yo, he just called me, said he was in Yonkers, man. I'm like, in Yonkers? Yeah, he's in Yonkers, and the broad baby probably just came home. Right, though? Right or wrong, though?
That was the Bronx with me and Flash.
That was, yeah.
Any guest
We had
appearances?
fun times.
Well, we got the Locks.
Yeah.
The whole locks.
Yeah,
the
we
whole
got the whole
Locks.
Locks.
We got a record called 3 on 3. It's us
Whole
against
Locks.
them.
Raekwon
Wait,
We got Raekwon.
we got Ray.
on Fat
What do you mean by
120.
us against them?
It's us against them. It's called 3 on 3.
Everybody went back to back with one of
Yeah.
the Locks members. Everybody
okay.
went, verse
It's not a
to verse.
battle. It's like 3 on 3,
yeah.
like we
It's
playing
like
a
we
game
playing
of ball.
ball.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Nobody win or lose. We went to overtime and then the time expired.
Okay.
And that's the reason why, like, I believe if you making classic material, you should only, like, I got Good Belt Gang. I got 6 artists. Not one of them, they my family. I love them, but not one of them actually deserves, not in a diss way, but to be standing by legends. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna make a legendary thing, I feel like it should be legendaries, people to complement that. You understand what I'm saying? So, I could have been fuck that. You know, I'm gonna put Good Belt Gang on this, but they don't fit. They're new. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that they don't fit. They probably They probably could have fit. But the thing about it is, I wanted to cater to that audience. There's so many people that come from an older generation that wants to cater to this audience. Like, I don't want to cater to this audience, but at the same time, I'm not going to wear a size 44 jeans. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wear Carhartt to a fucking wedding. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to cater to it to a certain extent. I'm not going to look like the oldest guy in the room, but I'm not going to wear tight shit. I'm not going to get a mohawk. I'm not going to dye my hair. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? So that's what I want. Because if I got the Good Belt Gang and we're making radio records and we're making records that sound like now, why would I do that on CNN?
Right.
Why would we do that? Why would we try to make a sound that sounds for now when we have a classic sound? We just got to revamp that and reiterate that.
So you got the locks. You got Raekwon.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Trage.
And Trage, you know, Trage is classically on like 5 or 6 records.
Okay.
But he was on 9 on the N.O.R.E. report. I just figured that out. the other
Was
day.
there a reason why the cover didn't have tragedy on it?
I don't even think
Because I'll be honest. Sorry to
Right.
interrupt you.
Right.
Is I didn't, as a fan who
Right.
bought the album,
Right.
I remember hearing, and there was no videos, really
Right.
at the time. And I'm just
Right.
listening to it. I can't really tell who's who and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
I didn't quite know tragedy was really part of CNN
Right.
until later. You know
But
what I'm
the
saying?
thing
This is no disrespect.
I've
to-
never felt disrespect.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like you got 2 guys on the cover.
Right.
I figure the 2 guys, that's
I'm
all
not
true,
really
right?
a part of CNN.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
the whole thing.
that's the
That's the whole
thing. Like
thing.
Trage
He's
is
like,
like
Ghostface, like
Nah, you know,
on
you know
Cuban
what-
Link.
Listen, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
It's like my presence there is my presence, a part of it, but that's their group, that's their thing. Like I was never like people always would say that to me. They'd be like, "Yo, why you?" And it's like, "Yo, I never even really had a desire to do that." You know what I'm saying? And see, like with this, anything we do, I like us to not keep the same. You can't go backwards. I don't want to go backwards. I want to move forward. But when we did the N.O.R.E. report, honestly, I didn't even want to rhyme no more. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I rhymed on a lot of records is because when I was taking the records around at first, dudes was hitting me with the, yo, they all right, but yo, I want you on the record too. Just to be honest about it. So I would get on the records, but I didn't even want to get on the records. But I did it because I was like, yo, we got to get on. And then, during the process of that, I started feeling my passion again for it. So with this particular project as well, like it was never even a question of me being in the artwork. This is CNN. Tragedy is not a part of CNN, the group. Tragedy is part of CNN, the entity, like you know what I'm saying, the force of CNN.
But that's why I want to do us 3. I want to do us 3 a full-fledged album and not be a CNN album.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe call it 252. That's the original company that Trage signed us to, because I feel like we are a 3-man group. We just never claimed it, and we never actually did it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, why not? With nowadays, you can make that out. You know what I'm saying? Put it on the internet. It's beautiful things that you could do. It's so much freedoms that people have if you know how to utilize social media. You know how to use the internet, and you know how to be smart about who you marketing to. And fuck trying like me. Now they might not feel like this. When it comes to CNN, I accept new fans, but I'm not looking for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like Bentley. I don't see Bentley have a fucking commercial. I don't see Maybach has a commercial. Right. Because you know why? Maybach is selling to a certain type of people.
They have a key.
There's certain people.
And when it's out, they all know about it.
Then they all know about it.
Yeah.
So,
a niche market.
So as long as I have these people that don't really clean their sneakers and really is just about that hardcore hip hop, and the girls come to the shows with they fucked up shoes and because they don't want to wear heels because they know they're gonna be. I like that crowd when it comes to CNN.
I gotta say this. I got dudes right now, right, and this is crazy to me.
All right.
I got dudes right now that'll come up to me. There was a dude, a few in particular, but it was one dude, right? He came up to me and he was like, "Yo, man, I listened to that N.O.R.E. Report album, so it could just help me break out of the norm." So I was like, "Yo, what you mean?" He was like, "Yo, I used to get money in the streets, whatever. I went up north. I came home. You know what I'm saying? I had a baby. I wound up getting a job. You know what I'm saying? And you know now I'm a family man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at him and I'm like, yo, that's what's up. But I understand what he means when he has to throw that album on, go get a bottle of Henny, and when his wife is with her friends or whatever, and when the kids is out, he has to relive his moments so he can feel he's not in a box anymore. Right. So now, like, I can relate to what he's saying. Like, we're not necessarily looking for new fans. Not that we gonna turn them away, but we looking for our core. We letting our core audience know that, yo, we understand we had to grow up. We all had to grow up. Y'all had to grow up. We had to grow up too. But every now and then, just go in the room, throw this in, and throw something back, throw some yak back, and relive that.
That's what hard copies took away from the music. When people stopped making hard copies, like the thing about it is, I remember I threw out something on Koch, and when I threw out something on E1, and my hard copy sales doubled whatever it was digital, which let me know that my fans are still old. They just work at UPS now. Or they work for FedEx.
That's crazy. I was gonna say that.
But you know what I'm saying? they are not used to downloading shit. Like I just started streaming. Holy shit! It took me a long time. It took me a long time. Streaming, I am totally with. I am totally with streaming. You know, our whole album was on Tidal, and it didn't get bootlegged. I fucking love that. I love for if you own your own material, and you can make the deal with Tidal. You can make the deal with Spotify, and you can make the deal with these other streaming companies, whatever they are. I think that's empowering the artist in a way that's phenomenal. It's like everybody's sitting back and saying, how can Tidal, you know, and Lil Wayne's deal make sense? Well, I'm gonna tell you how. If he exclusively, which I'm probably sure he is, signed to Cash Money, now his mixtapes, instead of him dropping a mixtape and rhyming off all these other people's beats and really not getting nothing other than shows, now you can drop a whole project that's just exclusively for Tidal, or drop a project that's just exclusively for iTunes streaming. That's genius for the artist. Now, they're gonna find a way to make this so the artists don't benefit, but as of right now, streaming is a fucking awesome thing if you're an executive and you're an artist and you're trying to. I'm totally for that shit. July 24th, the album Lessons.
Dropped.
It's our first time CNN, Wolf Tragedy, Gaddafi together. We're doing a couple of interviews, but Vlad has the first. Vlad is a very honorable guy. Me and Trage did an interview with him months back. I was drunk as hell. I asked him not to use the footage.
He didn't use it.
And he didn't use the footage. That was honorable to me. So I promised him, I said, yo, I'm going to give you me, Trage, and Capone together. And I came through with my word.
Yeah, my cousins, they were avid watchers in porn and had saw me on MILF Hunters.
Okay.
They saw me on MILF Hunters, and they went out and actually bought a movie and took it to my grandmother.
You're the only person, one of the few people that looks like you. In my case, one of the only ones that was light skinned. Our family was light. Therefore, when we go to our village, and when I actually buried my father, I had to bury him. I had to bring a lot of AK-47s.